So as this copy says, Austin Butler's twisted performance truly elevates Dune 2 to another level, and it's true. I did a not spoiler review of Dune 2, and I basically said I was enjoying the film. The film was fine, but when he popped up on screen, when he finally popped up on screen, I could not take my eyes off of him because he was so good. He was so charismatic. He was so deadly. He was just a psychopath, but you wanted to see more. Like you wanted to see more of that character. So he was just amazing in it. But Austin Butler was this way in Elvis too. Like, I don't think people understood how difficult it is young Elvis and the old Elvis. A lot of times when they do these type of things, somebody plays the old Elvis and they play the young Elvis. It's very rare you have someone who can play both roles so expertly that you didn't even recognize it's the same guy playing it. But that's how great he is. But let's go back to Elvis, right? So let's go back to 2018. So in 2018, Austin Butler was in Iceman Cometh on Broadway with Denzel Washington, and Denzel really liked Austin's work ethic. And when Denzel heard they were casting for the Elvis movie, he called Baz Luhrmann, who was the director of Elvis, and said, "You should really check out Austin Butler." Denzel Washington has no relationship with Baz Luhrmann. They never worked on the film together. I don't even think Denzel or Baz even ever talked to each other. Like, it was a cold call out of nowhere. And I don't think Austin even asked him to do it. Denzel just knew this kid's talent or this young man's talent and said he should be perfect for this. And shout out to Vanessa Hudgens too, because Austin was dating Vanessa Hudgens, and Vanessa initially said that Austin should go for the role. And unfortunately, he was probably so immersed in that role that he lost Vanessa, and now she's married to a baseball player. But shout out to Vanessa Hudgens, looking out for her boyfriend at the time. he lost a good girl, but Austin's doing okay in life, so he's fine. It's kind of crazy. Like this time last year, there was two guys that I thought were going to be the greatest actors of their generation. Austin Butler was second, but the first guy was Jonathan Majors, because Jonathan Majors in those 2 seasons of Loki, playing the He Who Remains and Victor, 2 different variants of Kang, was amazing. Him in Creed was just insane. Majors was the best thing in Ant-Man Quantium. And I always felt like Jonathan Majors was the next guy after Denzel. Like, if really the next guy was supposed to have been Chadwick Boseman, and then Chadwick unfortunately sadly died. But he was the guy who had next. And there hasn't been a guy since Chadwick that I felt like, man, he's got it. And Majors has it. But unfortunately, with the legal situations, I don't know if we're ever going to see Majors in another film again. It might be for a long time, which is unfortunate. Which brings us to Austin Butler. I know that Timothée Chalamet is the guy that Hollywood wants to be the next guy. And Timothée Chalamet is actually a really good actor. This is no shade on him. He's really talented. But if we're talking about like an actor's actor, where a Sean Penn type actor, like a Pacino, De Niro type actor, that they just go head first into a role and you don't even know who they are because they're so good at it, it's Austin Butler. This is Daniel Day-Lewis type stuff. Because when you see Austin Butler in interviews, he's like, to me, I always felt like Austin Butler is like a young Travolta. I said that like when he was doing press for Elvis. I was like, man, he's like a young John Travolta, because he's very nice, very personal. He's like, hey, how you doing? My name's Austin. He's just a very cool dude. He always buttons open down the hair, like just a cool cat. You never think like that guy can play these complex characters so well, and he's done it twice already. So I'm looking forward to what he does next. And the only criticism I have of him in Dune 2 is that we don't see him enough. He's in it. We see him. It's a nice juicy role for him. But man, I really want to see Austin more in that film. And again, the film isn't about Austin and Timothy. It's Timothy's film. Dune 2 is about Paul's rise into power, Paul's rise as an adult. It's a coming of age story in a lot of ways for Timothy's character. So I understand that. But man, what Austin Butler did was Heath Ledger stuff. There hasn't been a young actor that I've seen who's close to Heath Ledger than Austin Butler. And that's a long time ago. Austin, I mean, Heath died in 2008, and Austin Butler. You don't want to call him the next Heath Ledger because Heath is a legend in his own right, even though it's shortened. But Austin Butler is definitely the next Austin Butler.